Unless your family is rich or you win the lottery, it's hard to buy big things like a car or a house or a college education without going into debt. How do I deal with that?
I'm glad you're thinking about that at this stage of your life. Millions of people struggle every year because they've taken on too much debt. How about we start with your college education?
Okay.
I'm sure you remember the conversation we had about budgeting. You can budget your college education just like you budget your spending. You know you're going to have to take so many hours to finish your schooling, so you make a class plan just like you make a money plan, which is another way of saying a budget. Your goal is this: get my degree while borrowing the least amount of money I have to.
You've got that right. What should I do?
You don't plan one semester at a time. You sit down with your advisor and plan your schedule for the whole time you'll be in school. Things may change, but if you have a long-term plan thought out, you can adapt to any changes that come along. Take as many classes as you can handle each semester. Most schools charge the same tuition for full-time students, whether they take 12 hours or 18 hours. If you take 18 hours instead of 12, in 2 semesters, you have 36 credits. If you only take 12 hours a semester, it takes 3 semesters to have 36 credits. Taking 18 instead of 12 saves you 1 semester's worth of tuition, which can save you a lot of money down the road if you're like most people and need student loans.
That makes sense.
The other thing to do is to pay for as much of your college as you can without student loans. Find all the scholarships you can. File your FAFSA in January so you have a better chance of getting grants that have limited funding. If you still need student loans, don't borrow a penny more than you really need.
Sounds good. What about other types of debt?
That's where budgeting comes in. Sit down and figure out how much money you have coming in. Then, look at what you have to spend. If your expenses are going to be more than your income, you either have to make more money or spend less money.
So that's where I have to make choices. Kind of like what we talked about with the laptop, only on a bigger scale.
You've got it. Do you need to buy a new car, or will a good used car do? Do you have to have an apartment by yourself, or is there someone you know who would be a good roommate? How often do you eat meals at restaurants? Do you really need to join a gym or go to a tanning salon? If you decide those things are needs and not just wants, then you need to look for a full-time job that pays more or for a part-time job that will pick up the slack.
Anything else?
Let's look at paying things back. Let's say you've charged more on your credit card than you can pay back at one time. Instead of paying just the minimum, pay at least twice the minimum. That gets your card paid off quicker, and it saves you money on interest. You can do the same thing with student loans, and make sure you pay them on time so you don't damage your credit record.
That's good advice. Thanks.